Good evening, everyone. I'm Don Dunphy, your ringside commentator, and with me tonight is top referee and fine boxing analyst, Arthur McCanty. Arthur?
Thank you for those very nice words, Don, and it's a real distinct honor for me to be working with you because you are a legend. You are the foremost boxing announcer in the world, and you have been for so many years. We've done so many championship fights together, you and I. At the old Madison Square Garden, I was the inside man, and you were the outside man. So in the boxing world, they call you Mr. Outside, and they call me Mr. Inside. And we have a great fight card here tonight, and we hope to be describing it to keep everybody interested and happy.
Very nice, Arthur. And when it comes down to the fighters, and they're the ones who will make it a great fight. And this is superbly a fine fight card. And now there's another gentleman working with us as part of our combination. Here he is, Dick Landis.
Thank you very much, Don and Arthur. You know, there's a little bit of boxing history here tonight on Super Fights. It is indeed an honor to work with these gentlemen because Don Dunphy has done more world championships in broadcasting than anyone. And Arthur McCanty has done more world championships as a referee, more than anyone. A little bit of boxing history tonight on Super Fights. I'm honored to be a part of it. First up tonight, Scott Frank, Mark Lee. And let's talk a little bit about Scott Frank. He's a poet and don't know it, but let's talk about him. He's interesting. He is the New Jersey heavyweight champ. He's a tough, rough kid, let me tell you. He is unbeaten. He is among the top 15 heavyweights in the world. As a matter of fact, recently he fought to a draw with Ronaldo Snipes. But his career in the ring at times has resembled a roller coaster ride, and recently I talked to him about that. How do you assess your career at this point?
I think it's going pretty well to what I planned it. Right now at 24, I'm much stronger than I was a few years ago, and I will get stronger for another year or two. I think that, the heavyweights, that, when you do fight, you should be, for a championship at least 25, 26, because you want to fight these guys at your prime, at your best. So I can say right now, my career is going perfect. I have 17 fights. I'm undefeated. I've fought, somebody in the top 10 right now, rated in the top 4 now, and to me, I could beat anybody there in the top 10.
You tried to go it alone, I think. You tried to be your own manager to a degree, but that just didn't work.
Well, I wouldn't say that. The thing is, I do need more help, but it worked out well for me. But right now, I know that Duva has the thing to get me constant fights. On my own, I did get, to fight Snipes, which was a good fight, and helped my career tremendously. And, the thing that I like about Duva is, he takes care of all ends. The boxing, the sparring, and he's a good man, and he knows the business well. So with his knowledge now, plus my knowledge, it's championship quality.
He's matured to the point where he really went out into the world, and he thought that he could manage himself, and it's pretty tough for any athlete to manage himself, and especially in the boxing end where it's a one-on-one, and you're really out there at the mercy of all these vultures out there. And I think he's realized that he must have a full-time trainer. I think he's realized that he has to have somebody advise him and guide him. And I think he's realized finally that he is the fighter and he should be the fighter. And I myself have matured toward him also in quite a few ways in the differences we had. And I think after weighing both sides, I think that right now we're going to go. We're going to go into the heavyweight ranks and go good. He's really dedicated himself to boxing right now. All he's doing right now is becoming the boxer. I'm becoming the advisor. Johnny Torres is becoming the trainer. And I think that makes for a good setup. And I look for him to step into contention shortly.
I get the impression that you would fight anybody. You're not one of those guys who's concerned about very carefully picking who you fight.
Well, you don't have to worry about that now because, the heavyweights today, well, maybe they've always been like that. I have the capability to beat any heavyweight today, so it doesn't matter who I fight.
We can fight the Witherspoons. We can fight the Quick Tillises. We can fight even the Ronaldo Snipes, the Burbicks. We can fight those fellas. Scott can take those guys on. It's just a matter of I want him to get right back into the ring. I want him to get the confidence, the full confidence himself, and I want him to get that edge, that boxer's edge. That's what I want him to do.
So you're looking at a top contender within the next 6 months, and then possibly moving even higher.
Right. First, about 6 months, then get a hold of Holmes, and after I whoop Holmes, retire before I'm 25.
Scott Frank and Mark Lee. Here's the tail of the tape. They're both 6'2". Frank is giving away 6.5 pounds at 206 1/4. Reach, he's giving away 6 inches to Mark Lee. Scott Frank is 24, 2 years older than Lee. He's been fighting 2 more years as a pro. He's had 17 fights to Lee's 20 in the record. Undefeated Scott Frank, 16 wins, no losses, and 1 draw. 15 wins and 5 losses for Mark Lee. We spoke to Mark Lee earlier about his opponent tonight, Scott Frank.
Well, I know he's rugged and he comes right to you. I've been going out to the penitentiary in Nevada and sparring 15, 16 rounds a day and getting a lot of good work. I'm ready.
Fighters are in the ring now. On our left is Scott Frank in the white trunks, and on our right is Lightning Mark Lee, who is wearing the red trunks. The referee, Ed Darian, the announcer, Ed Darian, is all set to go now. 10-round bout. Here's Ed Darian.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the beautiful Superstar Theater here at Resorts International Casino Hotel here in Atlantic City, New Jersey for the Super Fights of the Month, which is being promoted by Peltz Boxing Promotions and Main Event Promotions in association with the Resorts International Casino Hotel. Is approved and sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Commission, the former heavyweight champion of the world, the Honorable Jersey Joe Walcott, Commissioner. Robert W. Lee and Nick D. Balistreri, Deputy Commissioners. The physicians in attendance at ringside this evening, Chief Physician Dr. Frank B. Doggett, along with Dr. Stanley P. Rogers. The judges, William Kostrov and John Stewart. The timekeeper to bell is Roy Johnson. Counting for the knockdown seconds, alternate referee Joe Cortez. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of the scheduled 10-round non-title bout, heavyweight bout, ladies and gentlemen, Frank Cappuccino. And now, boxing fans, introducing the principals. First, in the red corner, wearing the red trunks with the white trim, he is weighing in at 213 3/4 pounds. This young man hails from Carson City, Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mark Lightning Lee. Lee. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with the black trim, he is weighing in at 206 1/4 pounds. This gentleman is the New Jersey State Heavyweight Champion from Oakland, New Jersey. Boxing fans, here is Scott Frank. Frank.
Referee Frank Cappuccino with the instructions.
You guys are professional fighters. I expect you to act like professional fighters. Both you understand that. I want a good, clean fight. Any low blows, any thumbing, heeling, butting, use of the elbow, forearm will cost you the round. Every round, if I have to. When I say break, protect yourselves at all times, break clean. And if you have a knockdown, boxer standing, go to the furthest neutral corner, stay there until I call you back. Both of you got that. Both of you touch gloves now, come out boxing, good luck.
The scoring here in New Jersey is on a rounds basis with a supplementary point system. If the rounds come out even on an official's card, the mandatory 8 count is in effect. But the 3 knockdown rule has been waived. A man can be knocked down several times. It's all at the discretion of the referee. A man floored near the end of a round must arise by the count of 10 or the bell will not ring. Lee is in the red trunks, and that goes except the last round. Scott Frank is in the white trunks. These are big heavyweights, both standing 6'2". Lee 213 3/4 and Scott Frank 206 1/4.
You can tell by Scott Frank's body structure, Don, that he must have been a much heavier young man because he still has a little weight on, but with heavyweights, that doesn't make too much difference.
We've got a contrast in styles here, Arthur. Lee is more of a boxer and Frank is more of a brawler. Lee told me he'll try to pick off the punches for his defense, but Frank will come boring in and take a couple to give one every so often. Both are good fighters. Frank has scored 13 knockouts and Lee has scored 10.
Lee seems to be very confident. You could tell by the interview on the air how confident he is. He's done a lot of boxing in the penitentiary to prepare for this fight, and he's a real serious heavyweight and a good contender.
While Lee is going for the head right now, both men have been working the body in this round, and that's interesting because it's scheduled for 10, and they keep banging that body. It's not going to go that far.
What I don't like to see is the way Scott Frank is keeping his hands so low. His chin is up. He's catching it around the face early in the round.
And Lee is finding him with that jab. It's a sharp jab. Now Frank does a little jabbing of his own. A hard left hook. Lee didn't expect that one. That may have hurt him. Half the round is over.
Lee has copied, I think, a little bit out of Ali's book by saying it doesn't hurt, but those punches do hurt.
Well, when a man that big hits you, I'm sure it hurts.
And Scott Frank can really punch.
A little bit low with that left hook.
I've had Scott Frank before in a couple of fights, one with Guy Casal, and he can really hit.
Well, his record attests to that. His only blemish is a draw with Ronaldo Snipes, a top contender. Lee is coming back after some rough going. He turned southpaw for a moment.
Lee's trunks seem to be a little high. He could be just a little low at the trunks, but he's an awesome puncher.
Less than a minute to go in this round. Frank holding it with one hand and banging with a loose right hand. Both have been digging hard punches to the body.
I don't think this is going to go all the way down, do you?
I wouldn't think so.
Not the way they punch.
Might not even last this round. But we've been fooled before.
Lee's quite strong. He pushes opponent away and throws over, which is illegal, of course.
Frank is a brawler. Lee tries to box, but he's become a brawler himself. He's fighting Frank's fight right now. Leaning and banging.
Foreman used to do that, Don. Push you away and hit you with lefts and rights.
Seconds to go. We spoke early with the managers of both fighters, and here's their comments on tonight's fight.
I really feel that this fight tonight is going to prove that Scott belongs in the top 10. He's fighting a real tough opponent that fights the same as himself, who walks in and punches just like Scott. I look for an exciting fight, a real exciting fight, and I look for the fight not to go to limit.
We come here to fight hard. We're expecting a very, very tough fight, fighting him on his home turf. So put him in with good club fighters that come right at him, make him fight in all of his workouts. And we believe we're going to win this fight. Probably have to outfight the local. That's Scott Frank, and I think Mark Lee can do it.
The last one you heard was Ted Walker, the manager of Mark Lee, and he was telling him, among other things, to keep that right hand high in the air as he talked to him between rounds. In a clinch here.
I hope he didn't mean anything by saying he's here on his home turf, Scott Frank, because the judges and officials here are very, very fair.
They are indeed, no question about it. Lee is starting to hit faster now. Good jab by Frank. He's got a good one. Wild with the right.
I like what I see in Lee. He's big and he's got sharp, quick, fast punches. 6-inch punches, as Joe Louis used to throw.
He's got good reflexes. Frank is a hard hitter, though. He had Lee in trouble in the first round. They have him in trouble again. There he's doing the Muhammad Ali, as you said, shaking his head, meaning he's not hurt. He's hurt, or he wouldn't do that.
Scott can really punch, but I don't like, I have to repeat again, he's keeping his left hand down so low. He's being tagged all the time. And there it was again, and again.
They both have been hurt in this round. Lee, a good counter-puncher.
These two young men really love to fight. They can take it, and they're tough. This is what we need in that heavyweight division, because that heavyweight division needs some strength.
Certainly does. This is round 2 of a 10-rounder. The way they've been ladling it out, it's questionable if it goes 3/4 of that distance.
No, I can't see how it can go a decision, really. Not 10 rounds.
Unless they each punch themselves out. Frank is trying for the knockout now. He may have Lee in trouble again. Lee just pushes out his punches now.
It appears to me from this standpoint that Scott is just a little more powerful puncher. Would you agree,
Knocking
Don?
that right hand. Well, it's hard to say. I think he has hurt the other fellow more than he has been hurt. Time running out in the round. Good counter punch by Frank, nailing Lee on the way in.
That right hand really
They're both
started
going
it.
for the body, too. Frank battling in Frank's corner.
Now, there's the mistake again of a fighter remaining in the corner. He seems like he can't get out.
Well, Lee won't let him out. Frank is banging his way out. Those right hands landed. They were partially blocked, but the force was behind them.
That was a good move on Frank's part. He moved out, moved around, but now he's trapped again in the corner.
Seconds to go in the round. It's been a dandy round. Both of them have been hurt. And Frank was hurt again. Here.
Big mistake you're making is not using the jab enough, right? You're leading with hooks. You know you don't lead with hooks. That's getting you countered. He's countering on you.
We're in Scott Frank's corner near the end of the round in this slow-mo replay.
That was a tremendous right hand, and that really started a barrage on Frank's part. He really threw a tremendous right. He's stuck in the corner, and let's see what he does here. Well, we didn't have a chance to see it. Scott seems to like to be trapped in that corner, but he does move out, and he will, I think, as the fight progresses.
Well, you know what I like about Scott Frank, Arthur, is that he can shorten up on his punches. Many heavyweights have to throw them from left field to be effective, but he throws a short, jolting right and left, and that's a good sign.
That's a good observation, and he's also cut, Don. Scott Frank has a cut in his left eye.
Yes.
He did a good job, and it's swollen.
I thought I saw that near the end of the round, but I wasn't sure.
I would like to see Scott Frank in better shape,
By
though.
Lee. Frank is starting to force the action, maybe because of the cut. That could terminate a fight any time. Maybe that Lee, for some reason, covers up all of a sudden.
I have to reiterate that Scott is a much improved fighter. As you said, he throws those short, quick punches like that.
He's in with a good man.
Mark Lee has a little bit of that rope-a-dope style, which I don't care for.
Only Ali cared for that. Scott has a good trade. He seemed to be taking punishment, and then all of a sudden he comes barreling out with serious hard punches.
Scott appears to me to be issuing more punishment, but his head looks like it's being hit more. He's cut, he's swollen a bit.
Trying to get a good look at that eye. No apparent blood now around the left eye of Frank. Lee is peppering him with those jabs.
But Scott seems to have a little more power, is what I could see from here. There it was.
Good short left hook.
Mark Lee won't step back. He's got the advantage now, and he's staying and keeping him in the corner.
That's what he did in the last round. He kept Frank in his own corner. Now he's got him in Lee's corner.
Scott better get out of there. Twist him around.
Oh, they had to hurt Lee, those left hooks.
He claims no.
Frank is a deceptive fighter. And tell me he didn't get hurt. He was hurt. Less than a minute remaining in the round, round 3. Lee back to the attack. The tide has changed several times here in this fight.
It's a great fight to watch, I'll tell you.
Two good heavyweights.
That's why they say the heavyweight division is the most interesting.
It's hard to say who's winning this round.
Well, now Frank has him in the corner and on the ropes.
Right.
Once again,
it low.
He was hit low, and it did hurt.
The referee says low, and he takes a look also at the left eye of Frank as he talks to him. But there's no blood at the moment.
What? That's it. He's hurt. He's down.
From a left hook and a right cross. 3. He's taken the mandatory 8 count. Bleeding from the mouth. 8. He's just up at the count of 8. He is wobbly. He's referee Frank Cappuccino.
He's still hurt.
He's still hurt. He is still hurt, and there's the bell. And let us see what the ruling is here. I think the referee could have let more punches go. There were a couple of seconds left in that round, Arthur.
He looked like he was trying to make a determination whether he stopped it or not, but it did the right thing. He's hurt. Mark Lee is hurt.
There's no question about it. He was hurt. He staggered, went down, barely got up at about the count of 8.5, was wobbly, and the referee was deciding. Let's look at this knockdown here.
All right, there's a tremendous left hook that started it, and you can see that he's wobbling, he's holding, and when a man holds that way, he's hurt. And
he's buckling.
And he's down, and it was a tremendous knockdown on Scott.
Oh, that was some.
That was a left hook just like Patterson threw at Johansson in 1960. I remember refereeing the fight. It's a long time ago.
The doctor is up in the corner.
Get your goddamn hands up there. You hear me? You get your hands up in place. Get up there.
The doctor apparently is going to let Mark Lee go on another round anyway. Round 4. Lee was on Dream Street for a moment there in the previous round, and Scott Frank is trying to knock him out and down again. He is down, and this could be it. It is all over. Referee Frank Cappuccino waves his hands. It is a knockout for Scott Frank. He is still undefeated after 18 fights, 17 wins, 1 draw, and 14 knockouts. Mark Lee is still down on the canvas.
Well, Ted Walker, his corner man, did tell him to keep his hands high, but that didn't help him. Frank went right at him.
The time of approximately 17 seconds of the 4th round, a knockout for Scott Frank of Oakland, New Jersey, over Mark Lee of Carson City, Nevada. Here's a replay.
Scott Frank progressively stronger, and he just avoids that left hook, and he comes across with a tremendous right and left and keeps right after him, and there he just buckles down, and that right uppercut just missed him. It wasn't even necessary to throw it.
Mark Lee is sitting on a stool in the center of the ring with Dr. Rogers talking to him.
That Scott has a great future. This is what the heavyweight division needs. It needs punch power, and he has it.
He takes a good punch, too.
Yeah, but I don't like to see that. He better be taught to keep his hands high, because he has a great future.
Well, if you're a heavyweight, you're going to get hit. I'd rather be one that can take a punch.
Well, the name of the game is not to get hit. The name of the game is to defend yourself.
Scott Frank with his manager, Lou Duva, about whom he talked earlier. Lee is still on the stool out in the center of the ring.
In our interviews today, earlier in the day, don't you notice that the boxers today, Don, are very well-spoken, fine gentlemen?
Oh, yes.
And they're very polite. These two boys particularly were very nice boys to interview.
You know, I think I remarked this to you earlier. It's a shame somebody has to lose these fights.
Yeah,
Scott Frank goes over. There's no animosity. They're good friends. He asks him how he feels. It's a professional job. And what happened is part of the game.
Well, I don't think it's
Lee seems to be all right.
And I don't think it's the end of Mark Lee because he's a wonderful prospect.
Well, he gave out as much as he took there for 3 and a fraction rounds.
But that Scott can hit.
I think we ought to see that knockdown again, Arthur. It really was a workmanlike job by Scott Frank.
It would be classic. It is classic to see that.
There it is.
Now Scott goes down, he bobs and weaves, and he throws that right across, which started in left hook. He follows up, and he's down, and hit him with a slight tap with the right uppercut, and that did him in. He is one big guy, that Mark Lee.
Scott Frank is not exactly small. All right, let's go up to our ring announcer, Ed Darien.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time of this bout, 17 seconds of the 4th round, and a winner by a knockout, and still undefeated, Scott Frank.
right, now Scott Frank just exited the ring. He's a fine sportsman. He went over 2 or 3 occasions to compliment and to congratulate Mike Lee, and that's the way the boxing game is. There are no finer athletes than boxers because they are gentlemen, and there was an indication right there.
Well, we know that Mark Lee would have done the same thing had the situation been reversed, Arthur.
That's correct. That's absolutely right.
It was a good fight. I don't think there was a dull moment in the 3 and fraction rounds that we saw.
What I liked about it...
Now let's go over to Dick Landis for an interview with the winner.
Okay, thanks very much, Don and Arthur. The big fella is here. He is now 17-0-1, and he feels that he will fight a top contender in a short time. We will see. Listen, big guy, you took some shots in the face there in the first round. We started to wonder if maybe you might take too many shots. You opened the cut a little bit. Maybe you were giving him too much of a target.
Well, you're right on that. In the first round, it was my first fight in 8 months, and Lou says if it goes 10, it goes 10. Just go out there, feel him out. And I don't wake up until somebody hits me a few shots, and then I can motivate myself. That's the way I fight. I got to get hit, and then you see me get going. You saw me in the amateurs too. Remember when I got dropped? Yeah. I'd get up, I'd knock him out. But the guy was a strong guy. I was looking to get some work tonight, taking my time. When the opening came, it came. I'm with, Johnny Torres, who's training me. He's doing a good job. I should have listened a little more in the first 2 rounds, but if I did what he said in the first 2 rounds, forget it, would have been over.
Let's go to the first replay here of the knockdown. You'll see it coming up. Give me a little play-by-play.
Well, the first couple of rounds, I was banging him to the body pretty good. And there it is, open for a left hook. He gets hit. A good shot, as you can see. That's a Joe Frazier left hook. And I knew he was gone again, so I hit him again anyway. And there he goes down. He took a good punch. He got up after 2 good shots. And then I think this is the next one. Right. You can see I'm bobbing and weaving now, and there it is. My old style is back, bobbing and weaving, and I can slip punches in what I should have been doing the first round.
Well, down he went like a large timber, 6'3". He's a big guy. Now, by the way, do you have a poem tonight? I caught you off guard, huh? All right. What do you see ahead?
Well, I figure I have about 3-4 more fights to get myself in good. See, I'm pretty good weight now, and I want to fight in December, January, February. Then after the next 3 months, watch out every heavyweight alive because I'm coming to get you all, and that includes Larry Holmes.
Hey, you are more slender. I noticed that today at the weigh-in. You took off a few pounds.
Yeah, a few pounds, and I took off about 20 pounds in the last 3 weeks. Now, for the first time, I'm going to keep it down. I was a little weak, you could see, but from now on, I'll come in about 2.6 to 210 around there, and at that weight, I'll beat everybody. I'll have to pick up my speed again, more punching, bob weaving, and slipping. But like I say, my main boys I want is Larry Holmes.
Okay, listen, keep doing it. You're quite a guy. I remember you from the amateurs years ago, a few years ago, back in New Jersey. Scott Frank, 17-0-1. I'm a little disappointed, however, because he did not have a poem. Good luck. Coming up next, stay right here. Okay. Coming up next, feature with Ring Magazine and Randy Gordon. Now, the day after the big boardwalk blockbuster here at Convention Hall in Atlantic City, Randy had some...